What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to Raw Truth. And I'm Lake, and around here we don't pretend like we know what we're talking about. We're just here learning as we go through things. So, depending on what time you're listening, I would grab your cocktail or your coffee and let's get into it. Have you ever fallen in love with someone's freaking potential instead of actually who they are? Because, yeah, me too. It's one of the most painful mistakes that I've made over and over again. And I'm one of those people that just sees so much fucking good in people. I just want people to succeed. I want people to grow. I want them to become a better version of themselves every single day. So, what is potential? Loving someone that could become something else, something better. Believing in the future version of them and seeing how good a person is in moments in their life and not like as a collective. And seeing glimpses of greatness and then holding on to promises instead of patterns. The key thought here is potential is possibility, not freaking reality. Like, we can always see the potential. We can see the potential in ourselves. We know that we could be a better person. Are we working actively to get to that? Or, like, let's turn it inward. And of course, people see potential in you. What is that potential? And when you think about it, are you seeing the potential in you, and are you working towards that potential, or are you just letting it go? Because I know that we get caught up in the rat race of like doing the same things over and over, going through the motions and just trying to get by, honestly. And I have some people in my life that are really pushing me to keep going forward and keep, what's the next thing? And like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I don't fucking know what I want to do when I grow up. What do you want to do when you grow up? Like, that's the true fucking question here. What do we want to do when we grow up, guys? I'm 33 and I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I have an idea. I want to help people. I want to contribute to society in a way that helps people. That's like my goal. Let's be honest here. But when we get caught up in this potential as possibility instead of what's right in front of us, I've really tried to work on this probably in the last like even year. And this goes for everything. This goes for family, this goes for friends, this goes for jobs. Like, everything has a higher potential. We all have a higher self. We all have something that we could be better at. Every single one of us do. And if we see that in someone else or in a job or whatever the hell we're doing, in a house, like, my house has a shit ton of potential. I love my house because of its potential. Let's be honest here. There's a fuck ton of potential. Do I love it right now? No, I have a shit ton of issues. But it's going to take a lot of work to get it to its potential. I need a deck. I need to do landscaping. I need to dig out a freaking river in my backyard. Like, there's shit that needs to happen to make it where I would love it even more. But at the same time, I don't move because I love being able to go sit outside and look at the lake. I love waking up in the morning and I can see the sunset and I can tell if it's going to be a good one and worth to get out of bed early. And I've really practiced on letting things go. Let's just take this for example. We all have issues with our parents. And if you have a sibling, you know what a sibling debrief is when you get off the phone with one of your parents and you just had a meltdown conversation or something you didn't like, right? We all have those conversations with our siblings if we're close to them. And I've really tried to change my mindset around us seeing our parents the way that they are and loving them for who they are instead of their potential. Or if we have a friend that's making really bad decisions in their life and you keep trying to stick around for that friend because of their potential, But in reality, we need to look at it and be like, okay, can I love them? If they were to be this person for the rest of their life and they weren't going to change, can I love them like this? Can I love them the way that they are? For someone looking at me, let's say as a romantic relationship potential, like, gonna be my person, looking at me and thinking, okay, this girl's fucking crazy, but she will bend over backwards for the people that she loves, but she has a shit ton of anxiety and definitely can second guess a lot of shit. Now, I see the potential and I see that she could be better, and at times she's super fucking confident and she knows what she wants and she's super driven and she's a hard worker. But at the same time, that does come with, she has some baggage, she has some anxiety. If someone looking at me and said, if she wasn't going to change and she was going to be exactly who she is today, could I love her just like this? If your answer is yes, then great. But like at the same time, if your answer is like, no, I can't handle this much freaking anxiety, then you are in love with the potential of it, right? So if you're looking at your person, you're thinking, gosh, they do X, Y, and Z so good sometimes, but other times they do X, Y, and Z and it's really bad. If they were going to be that person today for the rest of their life, can you love them? So we need to stop romanticizing potential in people, situations, everything. Take people, take situations exactly how they are and make a judgment on it. Make a decision. And if you want to be there for the ride, hell yes. Like, I have people in my life that I want to be there. I want to be there next to my sister while she's going through all this shit. I want to be there for my parents. I want to be there for my friends and possibly romantic relationships, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, like, yes, I am a single mom. I am enjoying life right now. I'm in my fun stage. I'm just trying to enjoy life and take it as it is right now. And just being a fucking menace. But I do want my person, and I am willing to take some shit, but we all know there's certain icks in life that are gonna turn us off. And that's the whole point of growing. I'm getting off topic, but that's the whole point of growing here, is trying to find people that you want to go in the same trajectory with them. I've always said this, and it's so true. You are who you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with really shitty people, people that get drunk every weekend, people that are just going to their 9 and 5 and not wanting to excel, you probably fall into the same category. If you want to start being a freaking millionaire, you need to start surrounding yourself with people that think like millionaires or millionaires. If you want to have a more, I don't go this way, but if you want to be more religious and you look up to people that go to church every weekend, surround yourself with people that do the same thing. If you want to being a non-judgment zone and just be able to be yourself, surround yourself with people that do the same. Surround yourself with people that you want to be like, because guaranteed people are surrounding themselves with you for a reason, and you are surrounding yourself around people for a reason. So, other ways that we can romanticize potential is you make excuses for them. Oh, they're just going through a hard time. Well, how are they handling that hard time? Are they handling it shitty? If they're handling it shitty, you're romanticizing the potential of that situation and that person. Once they get a better job, they'll be better. No, like I have had some shitty ass jobs, and that does not make an excuse for me to be a bad person. Once they're healed, they'll be better. Once they're healed, they'll not want to ghost me. I was in love with the potential of someone. Once they get through this book, they're going to understand themselves. No, they fucking won't. Not unless that they're doing the work to do it. Once they commit, X, Y, Z will happen. Once they realize my worth XYZ will happen. No. We need to stop romanticizing the goddamn potential in people, because every time we do that, you're letting yourself sink to a lower level. You're letting yourself get caught in the fucking rat race. Notice the damn pattern. Okay? Notice the pattern. Just take everything, and I've been preaching this a lot lately, is like, stay where your feet are. Be present. Notice everything that's happening around you. You can romanticize about the future, don't get me wrong, and you need to have like goals and whatever, but like, remember to stay present and grateful, and just be aware of your surroundings. What is the cost of dating potential? Well, we're talking wasted time when we date potential. I do not talk negatively about certain people in my life, and I'm very picky about how I talk about past relationships, because I don't want them to think that that is negative, because every single one of them, except for one, I did love them fully with my whole freaking heart. Like, I love hard. And I just kept staying in situations where it was all potential. Oh, one day they'll do this, or one day they'll realize that they're drinking too much, or they realize that they're doing XYZ too much, and they'll want to spend more time with me. And it ends up just being wasted time. It took us 4 years to get engaged, 5, I don't even remember, 4 or 5 years to get engaged. And I had been begging for it after 2, because I was in love with the potential of it. I was in love with the idea of getting married for all the wrong reasons, which is really shitty. So if you're like someone that, I'm going to call some people out, not by name, but if you are getting engaged for the fucking wedding, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I did this. I wanted babies so fucking bad, you guys. And if you are getting married and you're spending all this money, and you keep saying that's all you talk about is just the wedding, like the day, the wedding, the engagement photos, the things that you post on social media, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. You're planning this extraordinary bachelorette party, like, it needs to be about you and your person. If I was to get married again, I'm doing it on a fucking mountaintop. Like, I don't want anybody else there. I want it just me and my person. I want it to be a sacred thing. And that's what it should be. It should be something that's 100% sacred, and like something that means so much to your heart, and you just can't imagine like living another day not being with this person. And if you're going through the motions of, once we get married, or once we do this, or once they're committed, they're gonna love me so much more. No, wrong. Freaking Brussels sprout. No. Once you get married, it's going to change, and they're going to really take you for granted, worse than they already do. Making excuses for everything is another cost of dating potential. I went through this with a few different things where I couldn't get my person to go to family events. So I was making excuses for them all the time, because I was hoping one day they'll want to go with me. No, if they don't want to go with you from the get-go, and that's important to you, like, that needs to be on your checklist. And if they don't do it, fucking dump their asses. Fucking get the fucking divorce. Don't get me wrong, people do change, I change, but like, they need to have that real internal like feeling of, I'm gonna work on this, and they need to vocalize it, and they need to be actively trying to think about it. It makes you ignore your goddamn intuition. God, so many times, you guys, ignored my intuition. Oh, it'll be fine. Oh, it'll be fine. No, wrong. Like, come on, get your fucking head out of your ass. Like, or you did stop listening to your gut feeling and start doing it. Start listening to it. If you're walking out of a bar and the guy is yelling at you and you're just like, get me the fuck out of here, that's your gut feeling saying, get the fuck out and run. Guys, just run the other way. Accepting inconsistent behavior because we're in love with the potential and because we have seen glimpses of this person that we are in love with, or friendship has really good parts of the friendship, or you have so much fun doing XYZ or whatever, or you go to vent to a family member and then your shit ends up being everybody else's shit. Like, inconsistent behavior is a big cost of dating potential. Becoming emotionally exhausted. I remembered out of 2 of the relationships, 3 actually, I just remember being so lost in the sauce. I literally got to a point. So in the end of my marriage, like I said, I have nothing against my ex-husband, and we have talked in the past and we catch up every once in a while. I've messaged him about questions about the house. Like, we're friends, like acquaintances, whatever you want to call it. I was so exhausted towards the end of that. I remember we had a Friendsmas party at my best friend's house. Our friend group was so close. It was already over at that point. I knew it was already over, but I just wanted to be in that arena, I guess you could say, because I knew that was going to be the last time. I literally knew that was going to be the last time that I was going to be a part of that friend group. Last party. And I was so emotionally exhausted by the idea of not being in the same room as all of some of my favorite people that I ended up getting like sick. And I had to go take a nap on my friend's couch. Losing yourself while waiting for someone to become who they said they'd be is like the biggest message in all of my podcasts so far. That's the biggest thing of dating the potential of someone and losing yourself in the process of trying to keep them, because you're trying to almost mold yourself into a person that's going to help them. But in reality, we need to find someone that doesn't even mold. They just fit right next to you like a fucking puzzle piece, and you both start growing together. And it's out there, you guys. You just need to start manifesting it. After my marriage, I swore to myself that I would never be a sugar mama again. I would never be the breadwinner in the family, like, ever. That's off the fucking table. That is not how traditional roles go. I am not a feminist. I want my man to have a provider mindset, and I made that very goddamn strict. And that might make me sound really selfish or really shallow, whatever you want to call it, but that's the way that I think that relationship should go. I also think that the provider in the family should also have the say in everything. Like, they get the last call. Like, I believe that you listen to your husband. And ever since then, I changed my mindset and I have manifested. I have not ended up in a semi-serious situation where they were the breadwinner or would have been. That's a very strict rule for me now, because I will not end up in a situation that's going to make me have to change who I am to make it work with them, because in my mindset, I should be the stay-at-home mom, they shouldn't be the stay-at-home dad, because that's just backwards to me if you ask. But now, if things like were to take off and be super crazy, of course you will figure it out. But at the same time, it's just one of those things that it hasn't happened since I changed my mindset on it. How much of this relationship was real and how much existed in my imagination? And I've gone over this after most recent breakup, is how much of this was actually real and how much did I fucking make up? Because it was great, you guys. It was great in the beginning. And like there was a fuck ton of potential of like they're working on these things and they're doing it and they're talking about it and they're working through the motions of trying to become a better person. And then my imagination just like took over and it just started romanticizing everything, every small thing. And then like it started becoming breadcrumbs and then it started to be like at the end of it, my imagination is what was holding everything together in my head. Because I had saw all these small things that I was holding onto instead of taking face value for the situation. So the difference between potential and patterns, right? So potential says that they could, right? But a pattern says that they do. Potential is words, promises, and plans, but patterns are actions, consistency, and character. People don't become who they say they're going to be. They become who they consistently show who they are. So consistency and having the capacity to be the person that they say that they are, honestly, actions always speak louder than words. Do not fall in love with someone until you see consistent actions. That's where my 3-month rule comes into play, because it takes, even for yourself, honestly, because I always act extra probably in the beginning of a relationship. And once you settle into yourself and you kind of like let your walls down, you start to realize that there's some things that you aren't that extra about. And same for them. You could start to realize the actual type of person that they are once you see the consistency over time. So 3 months is my rule when it comes to relationships. When we fall in love too quick, that's when we start to stay, because you weren't taking it slow and staying where your feet are. You were already falling in love with the future. And I do this, you guys. I am horrible at it. I romanticize the future. I think about the future. I start planning out my whole fucking white picket fence. And then you start to fall for a person when you aren't ready to fall for them yet, because you need to see who they are. And when we stay, when you fall in love too quick, then you have this fear of starting over. You have all this hope, wanting to be the one who believed in them, thinking that love means patience, thinking that leaving means giving up. Talk about the difference between supporting growth and sacrifice over your own well-being, because all of those things are literally what you're losing because you were sacrificing yourself at that time. Like, if we fall in love too quick in the beginning of a relationship and not like see them for who they are, you're letting your person go. You're letting yourself go. I believe in actions over promises. I believe in stop making excuses for people. Stop confusing potential with compatibility. Someone can still be a good fucking person and still not be your person. And I've talked about that multiple times. You can't love someone into being ready. You cannot love someone so much and try to show them what they're missing and show them everything in the world, and that's just going to magically make them ready. It doesn't happen like that. I am a true testament of that. You can give them XYZ and think that that's going to help, but in reality, it doesn't. So questions for the listener is, Are you dating who they are or who you hope that they're going to become? If nothing changes for the next 5 years, would I still choose this relationship? If this is like exactly right where you're at with this job, with this relationship, with your friendship, with your family, are you going to keep putting in all that extra time if they're going to stay this way for 5 years? What patterns am I ignoring because I'm focused on potential? What actions, what consistency, what character are you ignoring because you're too focused on the potential? And are you in love with the potential or are you in love with the possibility? Are you in love with the white picket fence that might never be there? But the biggest question here is like, if they were gonna be this person for 5 years, you guys, we're talking 5 years, 5 Christmases, 5 birthdays, 5 days that they upset you, like if you can if you're in love with this person and can handle it for 5 years, great. If you can't say that honestly, then you kind of know that you're already in love with the potential. You need to change your mindset about it. I'm not saying break up with anybody, but like have a real conversation with them. Like, hey, have a planned conversation. Don't just leave my podcast and go message your person and be like, hey, motherfucker, guess what? Because that's probably not the best way of doing it. Think securely attached. How would a secure person approach this situation? So potential is beautiful, you guys. I love potential in people. I love potential in myself. I think I have a fuck ton of potential in myself, but I am in love with the person I am today. But my patterns is what tells the truth. Don't fall in love with someone's future while ignoring the present. Stay where your goddamn feet are. Enjoy the season. Enjoy everything that's happening right now. Some things that I just am so passionate about is just growth. I think that everyone is capable of growth. I think that you're capable of growth. I think that I'm capable of growth. Your person is capable of growth. But at the end of the day is, are they actually working on towards a goal to grow themselves? Are they working on anything, any type of growth? And is it benefiting you? And is it worth it to stick around for it, right? So you deserve to be loved by someone, by who someone is today, not who they might be someday. So if you feel like your person isn't like the person that you want them to be, I really think that you need to take a look at it. I really think that if they're not doing the things that you need them to right now, just know that there's a good chance that they're not going to be doing those things in 5 years. So at the end of the day, I hope that there's one thing that you take away from today's conversation is that stop falling in love with who someone could be and start paying attention to who they are consistently showing up as. Love isn't built on hope alone. It's built on trust, consistency, effort, and showing up. You don't have to convince someone to be the person that you deserve. The right person won't require you to wait for their potential to catch up to their actions.